I'm in the chapter 3, which is a car that can fly, and I kind of talk through about how you've gotta develop this product that is what the consumer wants to buy from you, and if you could build a car that could fly for $25,000, you'd sell $1 billion, right? So anyway, but the next issue is once you have the product figured out ish, I don't know that we ever believe we have the product completely figured out, but once you have the product figured out ish, then you gotta fly the plane. What happens to a lot of people is there's 2 components to making a plane fly. One, you have to do the routine maintenance, the mechanical stuff, make sure that's all in place and solid. And then the other piece is you got to grab the joystick and fly the thing, right? And so many people get wrapped up in building their business thinking that the check boxes and the routine mechanics and the practical nuts and bolts stuff is what will make the business successful. But it's actually grabbing the joystick and flying the plane that makes the business successful. And oftentimes I think people get way too wrapped up in the details and the check boxes and the things that have to get done today, and they forget about the big things they should be doing in order to build the business. I had a friend of mine's dad who was a pilot tell me, and I'll never forget this. He said, Mike, you want to know why planes crash? And he said it's because when something goes wrong, the pilot forgets to fly the plane. And they get too obsessed with the problem. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you got to worry about keeping that plane in the air, right? So I love that analogy in business too. Like, we're always gonna have stuff hitting us from every angle in our daily work, but we gotta remind ourselves that we gotta fly the plane. We got to do the big things. We got to generate the revenue. We've got to, and so that to me is a great analogy. And flying the plane is the complicated part. Like checking the boxes on routine maintenance of the airplane. Like that stuff's easy. You just got to check the boxes and do what it says, right? But figuring out what altitude to fly, how fast to fly the plane, what route to take would be most effective. That's the more complicated stuff in relation to flying the plane. I hope that analogy is working. And then finally, in this section, once you have the product figured out ish, once you're flying the plane, now you got to figure out the message. And I talk about the message has to be able to be on a bumper sticker. And so the great messages are, the company has the ability to tell you what they do, how they do it in 5 words or less. And so that's the next piece in the creation of the bumper sticker, right? Or in the evolution of generating the revenue and building the successful enterprise. You got to be able to send that message, create that message, and then you have to put bumper stickers everywhere, right? So what are some of the great bumper stickers? We had one a long time ago called the Hip, Sip, and a Zip. Got Milk. McDonald's had I'm Loving It. Jimmy John's had Freaky Fast. Nike, Finger Licking Good, right? That was a good one. Finger Licking Good by Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? So anyway, these are examples of those, and then you have to get that packaged up, and then the last piece is you've got the product figured out, you're flying the plane, you've got your messaging tightened down, and now you got to give that message to everybody, every day, everywhere you can. Put a bumper sticker on everything. So that's it. That's the last part of chapter 3, which is a car that can fly.